Welcome to СивиЛНеթi. My guests today are Anna Gargarian and Charlotte Poulain. Anna, Charlotte, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for meeting with us.
And we are in an unusual place. It's an empty floor in a new building in Yerevan with white walls and some crazy sayings here and there. So why don't we start off by finding out why we're here? Because you've started up a new initiative called HAYP Pop Up Gallery. So Anna, why don't you tell us first of all what pop-up gallery means?
A pop-up gallery is a gallery that pops up in different locations, usually unexpected places, unused spaces. So it's a nomadic gallery. It's always moving around, it's traveling throughout the city. It's a very dynamic way of exhibiting art. And it doesn't exist in Yerevan, and so we are trying to bring that movement here and give more exhibition space to artists and take advantage of all of these different spaces and also bring people to explore the city with us.
Right. Nomadic art gallery, I like that. Charlotte, you and Anna are first cousins from different parts of the world.
Yes.
You are from Paris, and Anna, you're originally from the States.
From Boston.
From Boston, and so now you're both here. And who came up with the idea to do this?
Anna came up with the idea. Just walking around the city, she realized how many unused buildings there were, abandoned storefronts, just empty buildings in general. And so she had heard about pop-up galleries everywhere around the world because it's a major trend right now. So she told me about it, and we thought that maybe there was something to be done about it, like just take advantage of all the spaces that the city has to offer and offer a new alternative for showing art in the city.
So now you're working with artists, I presume, to have them, and would this be free of charge for the artists? They could come
Yes.
and exhibit their works of art.
Absolutely.
And how has the reaction been? And it's because we oftentimes say Armenians were very creative and we're very innovative, but sometimes we're also very traditional. Especially in Armenia, it's still a relatively conservative society, especially the art world, perhaps. And what has the reaction been from artists when you say that, for example, we are going to do a pop-up gallery in an abandoned building? What have the reactions been?
I have to say, from the artists, they're really excited about it because it isn't a new concept. They have seen it before in different cities, and I think any opportunity to show their work is an exciting opportunity, but because this is so community oriented and it is a little bit edgy, there's definitely an energy right now in Yerevan for kind of new things. There are a lot of startups, and so I think that resonates with the artists. The surprise is more from the landowners or the proprietors of the spaces. They can't really understand the concept, although this particular space, the management was really wonderful and very open-minded right from the start, so we're lucky.
And Charlotte, would you be willing to do a pop-up gallery and say, I don't know, like when we talk about abandoned building, I mean literally abandoned building, this particular one, this is in the Elite Plaza, so
Right.
you have the amenities, you have electricity, and you have heat, hopefully, because it's
Yes.
winter time.
Yeah.
But would you be willing to go off into a crazy space as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we're aiming for. Right now it's winter, so I think it's important that people will be comfortable in the space, that we have heating, we have all kinds of amenities here. But then during the summer or even around spring, I think we can probably do it anywhere around the city, even like open air spaces, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so when is the first pop-up scheduled, or is that always going to be a surprise?
Our first one is in December. It's December 12th here in this space on the 4th floor of the Elite Plaza building, and the pop-up will last for 10 days.
10 days. You girls have also started an Indiegogo campaign, and crowdfunding has become very, very popular and very successful actually in Armenia as well. So why don't you tell us about the crowdfunding campaign? How much money are you looking to raise, and how much have you raised so far?
Right, well, we're looking for $3,500. Right now we're at 63% funding, last time I checked. 69, yeah, that's true. So a little bit more than $2,400. So it's been going great for 1 week now. We still have 2 weeks to go. And then as soon as the crowdfunding is over, actually the next day we're setting up our first pop-up with our first opening night.
You're setting up sorry?
Our first pop-up here, the first grand opening night.
Oh, okay, very good. So what would the costs cover? Because there's costs involved in this. You know, it's a fantastic idea, but how are you going to be funding it? I mean, this time you have the crowdfunding scenario going on. So what kind of expenses will you be incurring for all of the pop-ups?
So we have two different types of expenses. We have our fixed expenses and then the one-time expenses. This crowdfunding is going to help us buy a lot of the tools and initial materials that will carry over for our next exhibitions. So the biggest expense is the lights, which are really important to having a good exhibition. And they need to be lights that are adaptable to different spaces, so we have to think in a very flexible kind of a way. Then there are the renovation materials like spackling and paint rollers and
so will you be doing anything specific with this site, or?
Yes, this space is actually in quite a good state, so we don't have to do that much, but as you mentioned, the slogans, even though they're very positive, they will get in the way of the artwork, so we'll be painting over those, little touch-ups here and there. So, and of course the lights we have to set up, and working with the artists to install their works. Each work requires different kind of hanging materials. So,
do you already have the artists lined up for your first pop-up? Yes?
We have a few of them. We don't have all the artwork yet, but yes, it's in good shape. And the cost will actually also cover the artist material.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And marketing costs.
Very good.
We want people to show up at our exhibition. Otherwise, there's not much point.
Okay. And how often are you planning on doing these?
Right now we're shooting for every 2 months. That kind of depends on the space. Of course, we have to find an available space. We also have to find artists and quality work. And because right now we're going for collectives, so we can kind of involve as many artists as possible, but it needs to be a harmonious collective. So we have a concept that we have to develop. So all of that requires a certain amount of research. But we're thinking 2 months, maybe 3 months at the most. But we'd like to be pretty frequent. So
will each pop-up have a theme associated with it, or was it, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So what's the theme for December 12th?
Frame of mind, context and perspective. So it's about how our environment shapes the way we see the world, and for artists to invite us in basically their frame of mind and explain how they can see the world. So we have had very interesting submissions so far. And what's also important about our pop-up is that we're not only going to have work of art, we're also going to have a lot of events, so artist talks and film screenings. So it will be all focused on basically our thematic frame of mind, but also generally on culture and innovation in Armenia. So that will be a great way to keep people coming and keep the space active.
Well, it sounds very exciting, very innovative.
Thank you.
And I'm so pleased that we actually got to come to the first space before it actually becomes a gallery. So
we're the first.
We're the first, so hopefully we'll bring lots of luck and lots of patrons to come and visit you. And we also would encourage our viewers to help support this initiative through the Indiegogo campaign, and we'll have the link up on our site for them to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd like to remind our viewers that my guests were Anna Gargarian and Charlotte Poulain of HAYP Pop Up Gallery. Stay with CivilNet.